Modern life fears aloneness. We fill silence with screens, loneliness with likes, and discomfort with distractions. But in our quietest moments, when no one is watching, something ancient stirs. Aloneness is not a curse, it is a crucible, and those who dare to enter it emerge changed. In 2018, a global survey by Xigna found that nearly half of adults felt chronically lonely. But what if the real issue isn't being alone, but never learning how to be alone well? Loneliness wounds, solitude strengthens. The monk in the mountains is alone. So is the prisoner in a cell, but only one is at peace. The Japanese concept of Ma describes emptiness not as a void, but as a space filled with potential. In solitude, this space appears. And in that space, we can finally hear ourselves think. Virginia Woolf wrote that a room of one's own is essential not just for writing, but for becoming. The inventors of new worlds have always walked alone. Leonardo da Vinci disappeared into notebooks and anatomy labs. Emily Dickinson published fewer than a dozen poems in her lifetime, most written in silence, behind closed doors. Nikola Tesla, once described as married to his solitude, claimed that isolation was where ideas are born. And the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, he warned, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because improvement requires turning inward, not outward. To live without interruption is a kind of freedom most will never taste. Social life imposes subtle contracts. Smile here, agree there, soften your thoughts, shrink your dreams. Don't upset the rhythm of the herd. But solitude is wild. It obeys no one. It is in solitude that Kafka could imagine the insect, that Beethoven could hear music even as he went deaf, that Simone Weil could fast until her thoughts became flame. Why then do we resist solitude? Because it holds up a mirror, and we may not like what we see. When alone, we can't hide behind charm, humor, or busyness. The guilt we buried, the longing we ignored, the dreams we abandoned, they all return. But here lies the opportunity. As Carl Jung wrote, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. The desert fathers of early Christianity, the yogis of India, and the Zen monks of China all reach the same truth. The battle is within. And it is in solitude that the mind reveals whether it is a friend or a tyrant. When we befriend it, the world changes. The silence no longer screams. It teaches. Our society does not train us for this. We are taught to broadcast, to network, to optimize, but not to be still. Children are rarely allowed boredom. Adults cannot stand an idle hour. Instead of facing ourselves, we scroll. Instead of asking, who am I, we Google, what should I do? The consequence? An entire generation that knows everything except themselves. In many indigenous traditions, solitude was not punishment, it was initiation. Inuit adolescents were sent alone onto the ice. Australian Aboriginal boys went on walkabouts. Native American youths fasted in the forest, waiting for a vision. These rituals weren't just for courage, they were for clarity. To know who you are, you must leave who you were. We do not need to become monks or mystics, but we do need silence. We do need solitude, not just to escape others, but to finally meet ourselves. All men's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. Blaise Pascal. Aloneness isn't exile, it's entry, not into isolation, but into your own power.